All right, so what is the fastest possible way out there to go from $0 to $100,000? That is what I'm going to be showing you guys in this video today. And I can almost guarantee you guys it's a business model that you've seen before, but you've probably never really thought about it in this way that I'm going to show you guys today. And I know what you guys are probably thinking. You're guessing that what I'm going to talk to you guys about is affiliate marketing or blogging or one of my businesses. And while I am making multiple six figures per year with these businesses, that's not the fastest way to start making $100,000 or get to that six-figure level. So affiliate marketing, for example, I make well over six figures per year with affiliate marketing alone, but this is my third year of running my YouTube channel and leveraging affiliate marketing for the last 2 years or so, maybe a year and a half. So that's definitely not the fastest way to do it. While it's possible, it's not the fastest. Blogging, definitely not the fastest. I'll tell you right now, my blog that I'm working on, Investing Simple, while we are scaling that up, it's nowhere near the six-figure level just yet. Is it social media marketing? That's actually probably a pretty decent way to get to six figures, but that's not the one we're going to talk about in this video. It's not drop shipping. It's not Amazon FBA. It is a totally different business that you've probably seen before, but you've just never, again, thought about it in this particular way. So first of all, what I want to talk about is what society tells you about how to make $100,000 per year or how to get to that six-figure level. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know the answer to this question. If I were to say to you, how do you become a six-figure earner? Well, what most people are going to say is to become a doctor or to become a lawyer. So basically, if you go ask somebody in a traditional environment, hey, how do I get to that $100,000 level? They're going to tell you to go to school to become a doctor or a lawyer or maybe an engineer or something like that. But there's a number of problems with that strategy of going to school, getting this formal education to then make a six-figure income. And I want to point you guys towards this number right here, okay? 170,000. And then I have a second number here for you guys, 122,000. And as much as I would like to say that these are the average starting salaries for lawyers and doctors, that's not what these numbers indicate right here at all. $170,000 is the average cost of medical school if you want to come out and be a doctor and then be a six-figure earner. $170,000 in debt when you walk out of the door of medical school in most cases, not including interest payments. That is literally just how much you owe walking out of the door. So when you calculate the interest on top of that as well, and this is after accounting for any kinds of scholarships and grants. The actual true cost is a lot higher. I'm using the most generous number here possible. And the second number, 122,000, again, we would hope that's the average salary of a lawyer. It's not. That is the average cost of law school. $122,000 in debt. Not to mention, if you're talking a doctor, you're talking 6 to 8 years in order to get to that level. And if you're talking a lawyer, we're talking probably, 4 to 6 years of time. So that is what society tells you if you're trying to make $100,000. They say, go $170,000 into debt and spend 6 to 8 years accruing this college education. Meanwhile, you're not working, you're not making any money. How are you supporting yourself while you're in school for 6 to 8 years? Well, you're supporting yourself probably with debt. So factoring in housing costs and all that, this number could be easily $250,000 to $500,000. Or they say go to law school for 4 to 6 years, go $122,000 into debt on average, and then come out and then get a job and then work in this super high stress environment. I mean, let's be honest, who wants to be a lawyer and a doctor at the end of the day? Some people do, some people are very passionate about that, and no offense to them at all, but I know in terms of me, I wouldn't want a job that is that stressful. So basically what society tells you here about, making six figures, well, we're just gonna cross this out because that's not the way that I'm gonna show you guys, how to get to a six-figure earnings level. This would take you, 4 to 8 years. What I'm going to show you guys in this video, you could pretty much get this done in 6 months if you really buckle down. So let me get into what that is right now. And so what this business is that I'm going to be showing you guys is the business of selling a digital product. Now, some of you guys have seen digital products being sold out there. Some people have never heard of a digital product and they're saying, how can you have a digital product if it's not a physical product? But it is this realm of business that is insanely profitable. And there's also a number of perks to this type of business as opposed to other opportunities out there. So essentially, when you look at the business model of selling digital products, which I'm going to show you guys the whole business model here in this video, it basically takes all of the things that you don't like about other businesses out there, like, you know, maybe Amazon FBA sounds like a great business, but you got to deal with inventory and returns and all this other stuff and customer service. And sure, drop shipping sounds cool, but again, you have inventory and you have to actually have physical products being shipped out to people. And maybe you like the idea of social media marketing, but then there's a customer service aspect of it where you're dealing with clients calling your phone all the time. Well, this is a business model where essentially all of those crappy things about these other businesses, they don't exist in this business model. And I know you may be saying, oh, that sounds like a scam, but just hear me out and I'll walk you guys through exactly why this is. So the first biggest pain in the butt with starting any kind of business are your overhead costs. If you start a physical business, for example, you're going to be paying for a retail space. You're going to be paying for products. If you open up a coffee shop, you got to buy equipment. You got to pay for coffee beans, all kinds of stuff like that. That's all considered to be your overhead. Well, with a business of having a digital product, there is no overhead other than maybe some very nominal subscription services like an email marketing service or, for example, a web hosting service, but it's nowhere near the types of expenses that you pay with a traditional brick and mortar business or some of the other business opportunities out there. And even, Amazon FBA, for example, there are some overhead costs there and some initial startup costs for product research, inventory, etc., that you just don't have in the business model here of selling a digital product online. And in case you guys don't know what that means, a digital product is exactly what it sounds like. It's a product that lives on the internet. It could be a membership site, it could be a course, it could be a guide, anything digital that's non-tangible, information you can package up online in one form or another and then sell people to get access to that information. And I know a lot of people are thinking, who in their right mind would buy online courses? But you guys would be surprised how many people are out there, including myself, consistently buying online courses for continuing education. And you see it happen all the time now with universities switching to more of an online education. And that has I think what kind of paved the road for this new type of online learning was the transition from the university teaching people in classrooms at the schools to actually teaching people online where you can learn at your own pace and in the comfort of your own home. So the other big perk to this business is there's no inventory. You don't have a warehouse full of digital products and downloads sitting in an Amazon warehouse or sitting in your garage. They're infinitely sellable because there's no inventory. And as a result, it doesn't cost you any more to sell 50 copies as it would to sell 1 copy. So once you make it, there's no inventory. You can perpetually sell that product over and over without ever worrying about running out of that product or stocking inventory or paying for the overhead for any kind of warehouse space. Another huge piece here is that there's no real returned products. You will have refunds, you'll have unhappy customers in any business, but there's no returned products. Nobody's mailing back your digital product and saying, I want a refund. They may ask for a refund, and there are often totally legitimate cases where people do want a refund, but there's nobody mailing you back products that you then have to open up and send refunds to and then re-warehouse those products. None of that whatsoever in this business. And again, since there's no product, there's no shipping, there's really not much customer service, and the customer service involved with this business can be outsourced to virtual assistants if you don't want to handle that day-to-day customer service. But essentially what you're doing with this business is taking something that you are very skilled about and then creating an online resource that teaches people for you. So if you were to go out there and start, a business where you were tutoring someone, for example, that business doesn't have the same scalability as selling a digital product because your time is actively involved with that. And so let's say you're really good at calculus, for example, and you're a calculus tutor and you're charging $20 per hour. Well, that's the only amount of money you're ever going to make per hour unless you maybe increase your price a little bit. But it won't be possible to scale that beyond however many hours you want to work per day. So the reason why this is such an appealing business model and the reason why it's infinitely scalable is because rather than having you physically teaching this student, you take your lessons, you put them online, and then they're accessible 24/7, 365 to anybody who decides to purchase your digital product and then enroll in your course or your membership site or whatever it may be. So that is the business. That is what is the fastest way to go from $0 to $100,000. I want to literally now draw it out for you guys and show you exactly how you can take action from this video and then begin making money by selling digital products. So what I want to tell you guys right now is this. Myself personally, learning this funnel right here, which is the simplest funnel out there, and this type of sales funnel can obviously get a lot more complicated, but this funnel alone, understanding the concept of how this works, I can't even put a number on how much money this has made me. If I had to, I would say this has made me well over, $250,000 since I've started my online business. Understanding, I would even say even more, probably more like $500,000. Basically, this is my entire business model in a nutshell. And if you look at basically any business out there, especially in the online digital space, this is the exact business model people are following. There's a funnel. And if you guys aren't familiar with a funnel, this is a means of directing traffic towards one specific goal. The outcome in this case is whatever your offer is going to be, whether you're selling an online course, selling a membership site, selling coaching, whatever it may be. And so at the top of the funnel, this is where you're gathering all of your traffic. And the way that you gather traffic today with the internet is with something called content. Now, the best way to do this is with YouTube because video is one of the best forms of content to build rapport with people. But it's still possible to do this with blogging or podcasting and other means like that. But essentially, this is what you're doing. You are putting free content out there on the internet, and in exchange, you are funneling traffic into your sales funnel here. And the way that you're collecting leads is through something called a lead magnet. I guarantee you, every single person watching this video, unless you've been living under a rock, you've seen a lead magnet. This is when you click on someone's website and you go to scroll away and you go to hit the X in the corner, but just before that, a pop-up shows up and they tell you they're going to give you all of the secrets you've been looking for. All you have to do is drop your name and email. And I know many of us, if not all of us, have put our names and emails in before, gotten the free resource, and then received marketing emails from that particular blog or influencer or whatever it may be. And that is how you funnel people into this sales funnel, is by having free content out there which adds value, builds rapport with the audience, and then that lead magnet allows you to capture that lead and gather that email. And then if you want to add some more complexities into here, you could. You could have an autoresponder that follows up with them after they join your list. That's not a bad idea. But if we're talking as simple as possible here, literally all you have to do is have free content out there, have a lead magnet, and then have an offer at the end of your funnel. And maybe you're not going to launch your offer until you've done this for about 6 months. That's going to be the golden rule here based on my experience. So I'm going to get a little bit ahead of myself here, guys, and kind of show you the bigger picture of how this simple funnel turns into $100,000. Then I'm going to circle backwards and go into a little bit more detail about each of these levels of the funnel. But essentially what you're going to be doing is creating free content. And if you do this for a period of 6 months and you really do it in an effective and consistent manner, it's entirely possible to have a 6-figure launch when you do eventually launch some kind of digital product. Particularly this works well with digital courses, all right? So your goal here in this is to, through your free content, to gather 10,000 leads, 10,000 emails in this case. And that may sound like a crazy high number, but it is totally doable in a 6-month span of time if you are very purposeful, with the type of content you're producing and the type of content you're putting out there. And then what you want to do is have your offer, and you just want 1% of people to convert. So if you had a room of 100 people, if you could get one of those people to buy your course, and you have 10,000 people that you're reaching out to, well, then you can have a 6-figure launch with just 10,000 leads. And again, for me, for example, when I first started my YouTube channel, it really didn't take me that long to get to that 10,000 subscriber level. Now, I made a bunch of mistakes early on. I didn't understand this sales funnel. I wasn't even collecting emails until I had like 150,000 subscribers. So the lost opportunity there is something I don't even want to think about because of how much money I left on the table. But if you build that funnel the right way from the beginning and you have your lead magnet in place and everything like that, that is how you want to go about doing this. But essentially, that's what you want to do. Create free content, add value, and build rapport for a period of 6 months with people. Gather leads, gather 10,000 emails or 10,000 subscribers. Email, I think, is the best way to reach people because you own that audience, but it works with subscribers as well, or a blend of both of these. And then you're going to launch your digital product. And it's going to be a formula on 10,000 leads that looks something like this. Well, as we said, if you have 10,000 leads here, and you have 1% converting, which is a very crappy conversion rate, that means you're gonna have 100 people opt in to whatever that offer is right there. So in terms of how much money you wanna make from this, you just basically work backwards. So you would set a goal for yourself in terms of how much money do I want to make? And that number is gonna go over here, and then you just divide that number by 100, which is your 10,000 leads at just a 1% conversion rate, which is very conservative, okay? So if you did want to have that 6-figure launch, if you want to have $100,000, you would simply take that $100,000, divide it by 100, and you would just then sell that product for, basically you would do $997. That's a more appealing number, $997, maybe $999. You know how that works, the whole psychology behind numbers. But you would then work backwards, put that number in there and say, okay, if I can sell 100 courses at $999, well, there's my $100,000 launch. Maybe you're more ambitious and you want to do $200,000 or $500,000. All you do is adjust this number accordingly, and then of course you have to build an actual digital product that backs that value. And I know a lot of you guys are saying, who's buying courses for $999? But to be honest with you guys, I've been watching the trend here with digital products. And for a while, the norm was like $497 to buy a course, $497. And then it went to $997, and then it went to $2497. And now I'm seeing many influencers with courses in the $5,000 to $10,000 range. Now, the one thing I do want to say about this right now, before we go any further, is that you need to promise me, if you do decide to actually follow this business model, you're using it for purposes of good and not purposes of evil. Because the unfortunate thing is that basically anybody could take this system here and then go out there and foreseeably make $100,000 or even more following this exact strategy of providing free content, offering a lead magnet, selling to 1% of their audience, and then basically having this digital product. And while there's nothing wrong with this business model, there is a problem when people don't actually do what they're actually selling you on. And so it's kind of like the analogy here of the gold rush, okay? So during the gold rush, who made the money? Was it the people that were mining for gold? They made some money, but the people who really made money, for example, Levi, that is where Levi jeans came from, was the jeans for the gold miners. And you know who else made money? Was the people out front selling the pickaxes. They had this golden opportunity in front of them. They said, oh, you can go dig for gold over there. Here's your kit, here's your pickaxe, here's this, that, and the other. They were the ones who made the most money by selling the opportunity. And so you do oftentimes come across a lot of people in this digital learning space that are simply selling shovels and selling pickaxes for an opportunity that they've never actually done themselves. So I hope nobody watching this video has that type of intent in mind with this business model. And it's very difficult to discern because you will oftentimes come across people and you can't really tell if they're actually doing the business themselves or are they just selling the opportunity to other people. So if you do come across somebody selling a course like that, do some due diligence on them. So for me personally, I have an affiliate marketing course that I sell. It's actually closed right now just because I'm working with my existing students for a bit. I'm going to show you guys the numbers on that course in a little bit. But that course, for example, you guys can see my affiliate earnings. I was doing monthly updates for like the first half of the year, literally showing you guys screenshots of my PayPal, of all of my dashboards showing my affiliate earnings. So make sure if you do decide to take a course from somebody that there's that level of transparency there about their actual earnings. So you know they're not just selling pickaxes for an opportunity that they've never actually taken advantage of themselves. But that being said, this is the model here. That is how you go and you make $100,000 with this very simple sales funnel. And now I want to give you guys a little bit more detail as to how this actually works and how these different components work and how you can literally start taking action on this business model immediately after this video. But the one favor I want to ask from you guys really quick is if you've learned anything from this video so far, if anything I've showed you so far is new information or something that piqued your interest, all that I ask is that you guys drop a like on this video. It helps me out a lot with the algorithm, and I would just certainly appreciate that. And it also shows me whether or not this video was immensely helpful to people or if maybe it needs more work or, it's just great feedback for me. So if you've learned anything so far, I would certainly appreciate a like on this video. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is take that initial funnel that you guys saw there from the previous section of the video, and we're gonna break it out into actually 6 separate sections that are a little bit more explanatory in terms of what you would actually need to do to literally take this and start taking action towards having a 6-figure launch with a digital product, okay? So the very first step, the number one thing you have to look at is going to be what is the niche that you're going to be serving. And this is ultimately going to come down to whatever it is that you're good at, whatever it is that you're passionate about. Because again, like we said, you're using this business model for the purposes of good, not the purposes of evil. So you're not going to go out there and pick some random money-making niche and say, oh, I'm going to teach people how to make money by opening a franchise if you don't know anything about franchising. So you're going to take something you already are knowledgeable of and interested in, and that is going to be your niche. And I know a lot of people think, oh, I gotta be showing people how to make money or showing them how to lose weight or how to find their ideal relationship. But there are so many people out there looking for information that you already have, that you're already an expert on, and you would be amazed how much people are willing to pay for the information. And essentially what they're paying for is for you to solve a problem for them. And let's say somebody is struggling with a certain area of their life. It could be anything. Let's say they're trying to increase their speed for running track or something like that, or they're trying to get better grades on tests or how to score higher on the SAT. If you're able to solve that pain point for them, it's going to be extremely valuable to them, and oftentimes it's going to be significantly more valuable than even the price you're paying for that course or they're paying for that course. So that's the number one thing you got to figure out is what is the niche that you're going to be serving. I can't help you with that part, but I can certainly help you guys with the other steps involved here. Number 2, the second thing you're going to do after that is you're going to get your lead magnet in place. And literally, guys, all I do for this, I write my lead magnets because I like the voice to be consistent. I like it to be my content, and I also like my lead magnets to be extremely valuable. But then what I do, I go on Fiverr, I pay someone to paginate my lead magnet and make it look pretty. I pay for a cover on Fiverr, and so basically for $100, I've got a nice, clean looking lead magnet. So those are your very first 2 steps. Before you begin creating any content, you put together your lead magnet. Because again, that was one of the biggest mistakes I made, was I didn't start collecting emails, like I said, until I had over 100,000 subscribers. So you want to have all of this infrastructure in place for your funnel before you begin working on the top level of that funnel, which is your free content, getting eyeballs and collecting leads. So that is basically what you do. You take whatever niche you are in and you identify a very common pain point, all right? So let's say, for example, your niche was going to be, I'm just going to pick something at random, scuba diving, all right? And so your lead magnet could be 5 things every beginner scuba diver needs to know before getting started. And that could be a perfect lead magnet if you're going after beginning scuba divers, and maybe that's the niche you're going after, and that's the course you're going to sell, is the best scuba diving, videos, and I'm sure there's certification involved, but maybe you're telling people the best places to scuba dive, the best equipment, and everything else involved with that, how to get certified. So let's say your lead magnet, like I said, is that right there, 5 things that beginner scuba divers really need to know. So your niche is scuba diving, lead magnet, you spend a Saturday afternoon writing out your list. You put together a 3 or 4 page Word document. You go on Fiverr, you pay someone to paginate that and make it look pretty, and then you pay someone $50 to make a cover. And so $100 later, in maybe 6 hours of your time at the most, you have a nice, snazzy looking lead magnet that's going to allow you to begin collecting leads. So step number 3 is going to be the email list, and that's going to tie in directly with your lead magnet. And this is a very simple step, guys. Essentially all you're doing is taking that lead magnet and you're either going to host it on Dropbox or you're going to send it as an attachment. And literally all you're going to do is the most basic thing in the world. I'm not even going to cover it in this video because it's so simple. You take your email marketing software and you integrate it directly, so when somebody subscribes to your list, the lead magnet is sent to them and their email is then added to your list. That is all you're doing for now. If you want to go a step further, you could set up an autoresponder sequence, which is a series of emails that goes and follows up with them every day for a certain period of time. But if we're going as basic as possible, you don't even need that autoresponder right now. You just need to capture that email and then wait until the launch of your digital product. So number 4, the next step here is the top level of your funnel, which is your free content. And basically what you guys are going to be doing here is just looking at what other people have made content-wise and then repurposing that content. You're not copying the content, you're not duplicating it, you're basically repurposing that content. And I'm sure you guys have seen this before on YouTube if you follow some of the same YouTubers in one given niche. They all tend to make the same videos. I know I've made videos on passive income. I know Graham Stephan has made videos on passive income. So has Jeff Rose. So have Nate O'Brien and Marco from Whiteboard Finance. There's a reason we all make the same videos. And that is because we are all repurposing each other's content. So what I'm going to do now for you guys, I'm going to open up my phone and we're going to do some live market research in the scuba diving niche. I've never looked at anything in this niche, guys, so this is just going to be totally raw here, showing you guys some market research and giving you guys some examples of topic ideas you'd want to cover if you were doing the scuba diving niche. And again, maybe you don't want to make videos, but you could do blog articles, you could do a podcast. But like I said, video does work the best for this business model because that is where people begin to get that personal attachment to you, and that's where you're going to build the most rapport. So now we'll jump into my phone and do some market research in the scuba diving niche. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open up my YouTube app now, and we're going to begin doing some research into this scuba diving niche. And essentially what we're doing, like I said already, you're looking for content. It's called proven content. It's worked for other people, so it's going to work for you as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in here scuba diving for beginners and see what comes up in terms of videos. So once we go ahead and do this, that's what we're basically looking for, is the content that has already worked well for other people, and you're just going to start an Excel spreadsheet or a list, whatever you want to do, of the best content out there that has worked well for other people. So one of the very first videos here, and it's a 3-minute video, is called Scuba Diving Lessons for Beginners. And this video here has over 180,000 views. So that would be one of the very first pieces of content I would personally do, is scuba diving for beginners. Next up, here's another one. That seems like a great video to produce, 5 common fears in scuba diving. And this video here is 6 months old and it has 11,000 views on it already. This one right here, another video that's a perfect example. 10 mistakes that newbie scuba divers make. And this one has 681,000 views. And this is a channel I just found all about scuba diving. Again, like I said, guys, I've never looked at this niche before. I'm actually pretty claustrophobic, so I don't know if I would ever actually go scuba diving. But let's click on this channel, and this is another strategy you can follow, is what you would do is find a channel in that niche, go to their videos, and then sort by the most popular videos. And again, this is going to show you the type of content you should be creating if you're getting into this niche. So The future of scuba diving, 650,000 views. Then there's actually a review of a certain scuba diving device, and then it seems like a lot of these other videos are related to scuba diving equipment. So those may not be ones that you'd want to do unless you are familiar with that equipment. And then you see, here's another one, what to expect from an open water course. Scuba diving for beginners, understanding, I assume this is understanding atmospheres underwater is easy. Like 96,000 views on this video. And I guarantee you, 90% of these people don't understand the business model that I just showed you. 90% of people don't understand that funnel I showed you. I would even say more, 95 to 99, making content. They don't understand the value they have here and the ability they would have to actually make easy money by having a digital product on the back end. And so that's basically what you're going to be doing, is finding content just like this, making a list of the content you need to create, and then creating that content, whether it be a YouTube video, a blog, a podcast, whatever medium you prefer. Okay, so the fifth step after that is going to be just to add value to your audience. And that just basically means answering questions, answering emails, answering comments from people, and just basically what you want to be doing in the first 6 months, in this stage right here, is give, asking for nothing in return. You're not asking for people to send you money as a donation. You're not asking for people to pay for, a email from you or something like that. You're literally just giving and giving to them, asking for nothing in return, because that ask is going to come down the road once you've built rapport with them through this automated system. That is the beauty of this, is that once you build it, you're going to continue to generate qualified leads for yourself, people who are interested in that bottom level of your sales funnel, which is your offer. So it's almost like this right here, this system you're going to build is then going to funnel traffic into the other system, which is your course. And then you have a machine running 24/7, generating leads for you, qualified leads, building rapport with people automatically with your free content, and then having your offer at the bottom of the funnel where people convert into your course or your membership site or whatever it may be. And I've talked to so many people following this business model. It's really amazing how many different niches are out there. And some people yell at me, they say, oh, it's niche, whatever you guys prefer. But I remember just the other day I was talking to somebody who had a blackjack membership site where he teaches people how to count cards. And he said he charges $97 a month and he had over 3,000 members in there, okay? So, if we do the math on that, for example, 97 times 3,000, and this isn't from YouTube, this was from a blog. He said he didn't like doing videos, so he did this from a blog. You're looking at like roughly $30,000 per month of income just from something as simple as counting cards. Now, I'm not saying it's simple, but I am saying it's a relatively straightforward proposition there. I'm going to show you guys how to count cards. He has free information at the top level of his funnel on his blog, and then a certain percentage of his readers opt into his membership site where he has that recurring monthly revenue of $30,000 per month, teaching people in a niche that he is very passionate about. And then sixth, the final step here is going to be launching your course. And this is basically just going to be sending out an email after you've collected these leads with your lead magnet and your email list. And obviously in the introduction of your videos, you're going to want to promote your lead magnet. So if you're doing scuba diving for beginners, you'd say, hey, I'm blah, blah, blah from Scuba Diving for Beginners, or whatever your channel name is. And then you'd say, if you guys want to learn more, check out my free guide on the top 5 things beginners need to know about scuba diving in the description below, top link in the description. And a certain percentage of people are going to click that, join your list. That's going to build your list, but you're also going to gain subscribers and other social media followers that are also going to be leads for you. So you're going to want to promote your lead magnet in that video to get people to actually sign up for it. And that is basically it. You're going to do this for a period of 6 months. Maybe it'll take you longer if you're making content less consistently, but if you seriously buckle down and you're very strategic about your content and you're repurposing proven content and you're making good information, this should all naturally fall into place in a period of about 6 months. Now, can I guarantee it? No, of course nobody can guarantee that in 6 months you're going to have 10,000 leads and a $100,000 course launch, but you're going to be better off than you were right now, especially if you're looking to make money online. You're getting into the right direction of where the serious money is made online. But this is a proven business model that so many people are following. But most people just don't understand it. Most people are blind to it because a lot of this stuff, the course sales and all that, well, that happens on the back end. You don't see that stuff. The free content is just used to gather qualified leads, and then you sell to those leads on the back end with your course or whatever your offer is. All right, now here's where things start to get really interesting for you here, because you can literally follow this exact strategy I just outlined to start making $100,000 or have a six-figure launch for your course. That is fine and dandy. Or there's actually a second level to this that's happening right before your eyes that you probably don't even know about, that I'm going to show you guys right now. And that is when we enter the world of paid ads, whether it be Facebook ads, ads on Google, whatever it may be. That is where this becomes infinitely scalable in most cases. That is where you can go from the level of six figures to 7 or even 8 figures. And I know people, I'm going to talk to you guys in a little bit about somebody who's made over $10 million with this exact business model in a very short period of time of basically selling digital products online. And so the difference is you're going from free traffic, which is what you're getting from your articles or your videos, and then you're switching over to paid traffic, which is running ads and then typically having people go to a webinar, which is just a sales video, where they would then purchase your course. You see, with the traffic from your existing audience, they're already warm to you. You've already built rapport with them through your free content, so you may not need that webinar. In most cases, you don't. People watch your videos, they like you, they trust you, they know who you are. But when you're gathering cold traffic via paid ads, people don't know who you are, and that webinar is basically used in place of this right here, which is what's going to add value and build rapport for them so that they trust you. But paid ads is where this becomes scalable and where things tend to get very interesting for people. If you aren't already amazed by this business model, this should really, be what makes you go, holy crap, this is crazy potential with this business model. So it all starts out here with something called a tracking pixel. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with this maybe you haven't heard the name of it because unless you've been looking at ads, I'm sure you've experienced a tracking pixel before, and that is where people often get a little bit annoyed with Facebook and Google, and they go, wait a second, I was just on Google looking up blue backpacks, and now I'm getting ads for blue backpacks on YouTube. Why is that, And this is because of a tracking pixel. And essentially what it does is if you are logged in via Google or YouTube or Gmail, or you are logged in into your Facebook and you visit somebody's website and they have a tracking pixel installed in the header of that website, well, they link the two together and they identify that, oh, this anonymous visitor is actually Jane Smith from blah, 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 and they tie it to your Facebook or your Google profile, and then you begin to see advertisements for that exact product. That is simply called retargeting. Retargeting an existing audience. So that is basically the first step of this, and a lot of people say, oh, that's a breach of privacy or whatever. That's not really the argument right now. As it stands right now, tracking pixels are totally allowed. Tracking cookies, people, they're not a huge fan of them, but you know what? They're allowed right now as the business model is, and I don't see them going away anytime soon. But that is the first crucial component here, okay? So when you have your audience here, your traffic from your initial launch of your course. So let's say, for example, you get your audience of 10,000 people. So let's say numbers rise, 25 to 30% people open your email. That's unfortunately a typical open rate, maybe a little bit higher for you, but that's typically what I see. And then let's say, you get 10% of the people to actually click on the page because they're curious, how much does this course cost? So 2,500 people of your 10,000 open your email, 1,000 click on your page, but the tracking pixel is activated on those 10,000 people, and you've now collected that data. You know who these people are, you can retarget to them, but you also have a general idea of this audience now, which is going to come in handy here. And then let's say, of the 10% who click, well, 1% of the total audience makes a purchase. So 2,500 people open the email, 1,000 click on the sales page, and 100 and end up purchasing the course or the membership site or whatever it may be. But there's a tremendous amount of value in those 1,000 people that clicked on your sales page and activated your tracking pixel. So that is the very first step here, is the audience that you have by launching. activates the tracking pixel, and now you can use that data to create what is called a lookalike audience. And this is just how brilliant Facebook is now. If you give them a data set of people, well, they're able to analyze that data and say, oh, this is a bunch of 30 to 35-year-olds who are interested in scuba diving, and they tend to have a certain net worth or dollar income or something like that. They're going to look at all these different random variables, and they're going to be able to help you create a lookalike audience. It's not the same people, but based on the data that you've collected with your tracking pixel, they build you similar audiences that you can then run cold ads to. Now, you can also do your retargeting ads, and those are insanely profitable. Retargeting ads you're almost always getting a positive ROI on, because essentially what you're doing is people who viewed the sales page for your course, you're going to retarget them with another ad and say, hey, I noticed you checked out my course, but you didn't buy it. Well, let me tell you about my refund policy or something like that. I'm sure you guys have all seen these ads before, but maybe it's just now clicking how this whole business model works for you. So the tracking pixel is going to be used to then create that look-alike audience, and you can run cold traffic to that audience. So that's what this second step here is, the data from the tracking pixel that literally Facebook lets you install this in your website and collect this data for free. Well, you can't see the data, that's the thing, only they can see the data, but it lets you collect it for free. You got to use Facebook in order to use that data. That is then used to create a look-alike audience, which is what's going to allow you to then run your cold traffic. So then what you do from there, you're probably going to have a retargeting campaign set up where you're retargeting people who already viewed your course page, and you're hitting them with some kind of one-time offer or some kind of scarcity discount. Or maybe you're just going to rephrase, or maybe just mention them, hey, did you mean to buy this or not? Because I know with my course launch, we did retargeting ads, and our numbers on retargeting ads were crazy. It was like for every dollar we were spending, we were getting like 15 bucks back. It was literally like crazy margins on these ads, but it's people who've already viewed the sales page. So you're always going to typically see numbers like that. But oftentimes it was as simple as reminding people that it existed, saying, hey, did you mean to purchase the course, or did you forget something? And we would generate sales just by reminding people, because maybe they checked out the sales page and said, oh yeah, I do want to buy this. And then they clicked open on another tab and forgot. And that simple reminder on Facebook was enough to, get them to make that purchase. But this is where the true opportunity lies, is with that audience and the tracking pixel collecting that data and building these lookalike audiences and then running cold ads to these audiences, okay? So I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys right now. I hope your head's not spinning. I know sometimes I try to make things simple. I hope it's clicking for you guys and making sense. If not, maybe watch the video a couple times through. I'm really stacking a lot on this and going from the simple model to the one that's really scalable and probably the one that's a little bit more interesting to you guys. But now we're going to take this and plug some numbers into it and show you how this becomes literally a money-making machine. Okay, so let's go ahead and assume that you have a cold traffic funnel set up where you have people clicking on ads, signing up and registering for a webinar, and then after they complete the webinar, they have the opportunity to actually purchase your course. And let's assume we're operating with these numbers here, okay? We have a course that is selling for $997, which is basically the entry level now when it comes to online courses. You're not seeing many selling for less than that price. As far as conversion rate on that webinar, we're assuming 2% conversion, and typical conversion for a webinar ranges from 1 to 3% depending on a number of different factors. Oftentimes it's how good is your webinar. And then let's assume that you have a cost per registration of $5. So basically, let me explain what this means here. This means that when you're running ads on Facebook, for every $5 that you spend on ads, you're getting one person to register for the webinar. And for every 100 people that register, 2% convert. So let's go ahead and actually run the numbers on that, okay? For 100 registrations at $5 a piece, that means on ads, you are going to be spending 500 bucks. Now, we do know already that your webinar is converting at 2%. Typical is 1 to 3. It can be optimized for sure and get you closer to that 3 number. So let's assume you're converting at 2%. That means that 2 people made a purchase, okay? So you ended up from those 100 people here getting 2 sales. Well, we know your course sells for $997. So you take that 2, multiply it by 997, and you come out with a number here of $1,994. So you just spent $500 collecting 100 webinar registrants, okay? You spent that money to gain 2 sales at $997 a piece, spent 500 bucks, you made $1994. That is why people get so rich with this business model, is because it's such a high margin product. You have so much room to play with ads. There's no inventory, there's no shipping costs here. When you're selling a product that's almost totally profit, your margins are unbelievable, and you can spend a boatload of money acquiring just one customer. And even if you spend 250 bucks to get a sale, if that sale is for $997, you still have a ridiculous profit margin. And so this is exactly what people do. They take their audience and then they harvest that data through a launch with the tracking pixel. They create a lookalike audience, and then they run cold traffic to that audience just like this. And if it converts like this and they have an ad that's generating a positive ROI, then they simply just scale that ad to a larger and larger audience, and they make sure that the numbers here are still appealing. It's typically, your webinar conversion rate and your cost per registration. Those are the 2 numbers you look at, and you make sure that you are generating a positive ROI. So for this instance right here, this is basically like putting $1 in a machine and getting $4 back. That is essentially what this system is here. And I know that sounds crazy to you guys, but basically where I learned this business model was from a course called Digital Course Secrets. Full transparency, guys, I've taken that course, I bought that course, I am affiliated with it, and I'm also going to provide you guys with a link to the webinar if you want to learn more about it. But this is basically what people are doing, and this is a course by Kevin David. This is a guy who has sold over $10 million worth of courses following this exact business model of leveraging both organic traffic from his YouTube channel and paid traffic from Facebook and Google ads. So this right here is the exact business model, a very simplified version that countless people are using. I'm sure you guys see ads all the time for the top level of that cold traffic funnel, where they're trying to get you to register for a free training or register for a webinar. And maybe you don't have interest in this business model, and that's perfectly fine, but maybe now you have a better understanding of what's going on behind the scenes. What's the bigger picture here? Why is everyone trying to give away things for free? Why are they giving away this free guide or free course? It's because of this right here, because it's the top level of the funnel. They're collecting leads and they're using it to make money on the back end. Now, if you're one of the minority who watches this video and this actually clicks for you and you say, wait a second, I want to do this, I want to run this profitable business, then I would direct you guys down in the description below. Kevin has a really good free training. It goes into more detail about this entire business model. Top link in the description below if you guys want to check that out. And if you're somebody who's on the fence and you're saying, oh, maybe I'll try this, look, Kevin David doesn't need any more money at the end of the day. He's done $10 million in course sales. His sale of Digital Course Secrets is basically showing people this powerful business model and how he was able to do it. I can assure you guys, he doesn't need any more money. Full transparency, I'm affiliated with his course, so I get a kickback if you guys buy it, but I'm also a student of his course and a success story for his course as well. But if you're on the fence and you're thinking about it, check out the webinar. But unless it really clicks for you, neither of us need you to go out there and spend a couple grand on a course that you're not going to use. That doesn't help anybody. But that being said, let's talk about my numbers and my experience after going through Digital Course Secrets and basically doing this exact business model. So I took Digital Course Secrets a couple of months ago. I think I was one of Kevin's first students, to be honest with you guys. But as soon as he launched that course, I said, that is a course I need to buy, because if there's one thing he knows what to do, it's sell digital courses. The only person I would also buy a course on courses from is Ty Lopez. That guy's sold tens of millions of dollars, maybe even 100 million of courses at this point. I don't even know what the number is. But anyways, I ended up launching my course in May. Since then, I have closed it off for a period of time while I'm working with students one-on-one and building up a solid number of testimonials. And then come January, I'm going to do more of the advertising side here and going after cold traffic. I'm just kind of working with people, building up my testimonials, and then I'm going to scale it come January. But even just from taking the course and from that initial launch, I'll show you guys a screenshot right here. Right? We did $29,000 in Stripe transactions, and then there was also another $7,000 in PayPal transactions. So that's $36,000 roughly for that launch. Now I know what you're about to say. You're saying, wait a second, that's not $100,000. You were telling us how to make $100,000 from the launch of a course. And what I will tell you guys is this. My audience is not an affiliate marketing audience. My audience is people interested in the stock market primarily, or they're interested in passive income. And while affiliate marketing is a method of passive income, it's a subset of a segmented audience that I already have. So I didn't have 10,000 leads of people interested in affiliate marketing. Otherwise, I can guarantee you I would have done a six-figure launch. I had an email list of about 1,200 people interested in affiliate marketing when I launched this course. So I launched it via email and also on my other social media channels and had a $36,000 launch. So there's no doubt in my mind, if I had 10,000 leads, this would have been a six-figure launch. But that being said, even with the price of the course that I paid for Digital Course Secrets, it was still a fantastic return on investment to have a $36,000 launch. And again, that's nothing to shake a stick at. That's like the average salary for a person that I made just from launching a course teaching people my business model of affiliate marketing. Now, as far as the course goes, guys, Digital Course Secrets is quite honestly one of the most thorough and valuable courses I've ever taken. And it really did show you everything. And I'm not just saying that. Like, there were literally multiple points throughout the course that I paused the video and I said to myself, I can't believe that Kevin is actually showing us this level of information. He literally hands you his webinar scripts. He hands you everything in a templated form that you can actually take action on and use. So what I will tell you guys is this. I mean, obviously nobody could guarantee your success with anything out there. If you go anywhere and ask somebody for a guarantee, if you go to college and ask them to guarantee you for a job, then nobody's going to give you that level of guarantee, and that doesn't exist here either. But if you understand this business model and something clicked for you when you watched this video and you had that light bulb in the head moment, this is the course for you. That literally shows you step by step exactly how to replicate this business model that I gave you a very basic outline of here today in this video. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up this video here today. If something did click for you guys, or maybe you're just curious about this business model, I'm going to put the link in the description below for that completely free training that talks more about this. And you'll actually also be able to get to see this sales funnel in action if you want to see how it works, how you click on that link and then possibly be getting, retargeting ads. You can actually see it working in action. Or again, if the business model just clicked for you and it's something you want to pursue, there is no better course out there for that from my own firsthand personal experience. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.